Hi, my name is Kade. If you're an upcoming artist, you should check out Go Produce.
Hey, what's up, SmArtist? Alex Kade, thank you so much for being here. Kade himself is a musical artist and entrepreneur and electronic music producer. He is currently developing his EDM group called Alex Kade. As a producer, he has remixed and co-written with a plethora of artists. We're going to talk about that. Kade also educates musical artists on how to better market their music, their brand, and themselves using organic social media methods and paid advertising. He's accrued over 51,000 followers on TikTok, over 3,000 Instagram followers, based off of his EDM project for Alex Kade. And lastly, Kade himself is a professional drummer based in Toronto who is sponsored by TRS Custom Drums. SmArtists, this is Alex Kade.
Hey, what's good? Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure, my dude. Thank you so much for being here. We do got several segments that we have in this show. So the first one we may as well start off with is called The Basics. Oh, that's featuring Grumpy Sound Guy. You know, he's not here in person right now, but he's still here in spirit. But what we're gonna do, yeah. Okay, what we're gonna do with the basics is we just want to understand you a little bit better. So first question is, why did you choose music over anything else?
Oh man, music is just, it's fun. And living, I don't want to be stuck in a 9 to 5 doing something that I hate. So the short response is music is fun. And I know how to make money through music, so why would I do anything else for money?
I don't have a response to that. I don't have a why not. That makes total sense. And okay, so making money doing music seems to be quite tricky for a lot of individuals. You've said that quite confidently that you figured out a way to do that. So we'll get a little bit more into that a little bit down the road. But up until you were able to figure this out, was there ever a point of hesitation? Did you work that 9 to 5 and then you're like, okay, now it's time to make that jump, in case someone else is questioning whether it's the right time?
I first started, my first paycheck from music was when I was 17. And my friend, he had a friend who was about to propose to his fiance. So he's like, yo, can you help play a bit of percussion for this, right?
Oh, wow.
30 minutes, he e-transferred me $200 later. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, what? And then my parents are like, what? He made money doing music? That's weird. And, you know, Asian immigrant parents are like, the only jobs are doctor, lawyer, business owner, whatever, right? But with this, they're like, this was very, very confusing for them. And then as the time went on, like I played a few, excuse me, I played a few other gigs, and I was making money, and they're just so confused as to why money was coming from music, because they didn't understand how it worked. You know, it's either you're starving or you're super, super famous. They don't understand, you know, kind of the in between.
Right.
But yeah, so it was after that, just playing a ton more gigs. So I started off as a drummer. I went to York University for a year, Humber College for 2 years for drumming. And in the summers, or during that time, I met a lot of people. And then in the summers, drumming was like a full-time gig. Wasn't a ton of money, but enough to, you know, pay my bills and stuff. I was living at my parents still when I was a kid, but it was enough to pay the bills. And then I dropped out of school back in 2017 because, you know, going to school is very, very stressful, especially with music school and jazz school. It's a bit toxic at times. The environment's very, very toxic, as opposed to, you know, the pop industry where everyone's always just trying to help each other. The kind of jazz musician, session musician industry is a bit more gatekeepery.
Like,
and I didn't like that environment. Yeah, very, very elitist. I have a ton of friends who I went to school with that I love. They're such nice people, and we all share like facts and whatever. We're always just trying to help each other win. But just the fact that there's like so much, there's such a large amount of people who are that kind of elitist, a bit more negative, not trying to, you know, help everyone win, just focused on their own success.
Right.
I didn't really like that, so I was like,
that is toxic.
whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving forward, I had to leave my parents' home due to some like arguments about my choice in career.
Yeah.
So after that's when I really had to like, hustle down, find a 9 to 5 and stuff. I was working retail. I sold some cars. I did some. I was a garbage man. But then during all those jobs, like whenever I got home, I was just back to doing music. So I'm like, okay, maybe I just got to figure out like, okay, how can I make more money doing music? Because I was still playing gigs and stuff. And in the summer, again, right, I could quit my job and go back to playing because in the summer there's so many gigs everywhere, and so I was just always being hired. But when COVID hit, so that made it a bit harder to gig because we're not allowed out. We didn't want to hurt
Because it's
anyone. We
illegal
didn't want
now.
to spread anything.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized, okay, how I gotta really really get better at this stuff. I gotta learn how to do better sales, better marketing, be a better musician, and when I started realizing that, like to make it in music, you can't only be good at music. You gotta like learn all these other skills, especially if you don't have a team behind you. Because I'm doing everything by myself basically. Just learning all these skills really really helped me, end up making a full-time income from music, paying all my bills, living like I'm living frugally. I don't spend a lot of my money. I don't go out. I literally just lock myself in my basement and just work all day.
And
But I love
do
what
what
I
you
do.
got to do. Exactly.
Exactly. And I don't go out, and all the money that I make, like some goes to expenses, but the rest just goes back to the business to keep growing and help me
Exactly.
keep doing what I love. Yeah,
Reinvigorate it all. It makes sense. Okay,
exactly.
so that's a fabulous story, and obviously there's still a lot more that has to unfold from it all. But so far, you've clearly learned a lot of lessons, and you've made a lot of significant choices. Is there a first lesson that comes to mind from your whole experience? Maybe it was when you were 17 and you got paid. You're like, yo, I can actually make some money. What was one of those first lessons that stood out to you?
Just don't listen to what anyone says if it's negative. If they don't support you, don't listen to them. You really really got to have tunnel vision when you're pursuing music because it's something that I'd say 99% of people don't understand that it is a viable career path, but it's just not very common, and that's why people, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it,
Arrow,
but it's not.
exactly.
But you really got to have that tunnel vision and just like, take whatever the haters say with a grain of salt, even if it's your parents, even if it's your close friends.
Even if it's you for a half a day. Like
Yeah, you just
sometimes you
gotta.
self doubt yourself too. Can't listen to
Oh
that.
yeah, I doubt myself so much, imposter syndrome all the time. But it's just like when that happens, I just kind of step back, go upstairs, cry it out, come back down. I'm like, okay, let's just do something fun, and then
Keep on
you gotta
moving.
you gotta remember the ways to make your work fun for you again, because you're doing music because it's fun, right? That's why
Exactly.
we all love music. If you're listening to this, you 100% love music and you want to do more music.
Hmm, hmm.
So you just gotta remind yourself how to get back into that. Remind yourself how much you actually love music.
Exactly. Don't let anyone else's thoughts deter you from your own dream and your own vision because it's not their dream or their vision to begin with, so they don't necessarily have to understand it, right? They're
That's
just
exactly
completely
it.
removed.
That's
If
exactly it.
yes, if you could change one thing about the music industry, what would you change?
See, Spotify royalties are coming up, right? Streaming royalties, but I don't like, there's ways to get around that,
Yeah,
which I learned how to do for myself.
yeah, you're a genius.
There's like a lot of gatekeepery stuff, but that's just humans. Humans are just gatekeeper. Like there's a lot of things. I think like I wouldn't really change anything about the music industry. If you're trying to change a whole industry, if you're trying to even if you're just trying to change, your friend's perspective on that, it's a lot more work than you changing your own perspective. If
That's a good
it's
point.
super super easy for you to adjust your own views, your own perspective, and adjust how you work. It's super super difficult to adjust how someone else works, how someone else sees things,
Right.
let alone how an entire industry runs their business. So right now, I would say change artists, upcoming artists' mindset on how they can make a career out of music. That's the biggest thing that I would try to change.
I think you're actively already doing this.
I'm trying my best. I'm trying to topple down the big crappy machine that is the music industry right now.
Man, I'm all for that. And honestly, a lot of the conversations we've been having in season 5 are around that. A lot of the indie professionals out there are doing a lot of very cool things. Whether it's involved in tech, whether it's involved in like decentralized label systems kind of thing. So I'm very eager or enthusiastic about the future of what this industry is, because there are a lot of different individuals changing their own perspectives that can make greater ripples that can eventually change an industry. So I'm happy with that perspective, and I do truly believe that upcoming artists, like, you can't have a future music industry without upcoming artists. So
Exactly.
if we bring
That
it
is so
now,
true.
this is the wave. Everyone wants to be on
That's
that
it,
new
that's
wave
it.
anyway, right? It's the cool thing. Let's do this. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, cool. That is the basics. Wow. We are going into the next segment. The next segment is called the speed round. It's the speed round. It's the speed round.
Yeah, that was a terrible take.
All right. So in the speed round, we've got 20 different questions that I'm going to be throwing at you in rapid succession. You have
Oh my
3
gosh.
seconds. Oh gosh.
No. All right, do it.
You
Do
got
it
3 seconds, yes. And if the 3 seconds passes, you're gonna hear a buzzer that sounds like this. Yep.
Oh man, you're starting my day off making me anxious. Yikes.
The guy's gonna be wired for the rest of the day, like, oh, what's that buzzer? All right, here
All
we
right,
go.
let's do it up.
What is your favorite activity to do?
Music.
TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok.
What's your favorite meal?
Chicken breast and pasta.
Ooh, nice. Dead or alive, who would you like to have dinner with?
Oh my gosh, that's a long 3 seconds.
Do viral
That's a
videos
long
happen
3
randomly?
No.
Is water wet?
No.
Make the first sound that comes to your mind.
Ah.
What platform do you use to set up your merch?
Shopify and Printful.
If movie is to watch, then Netflix is too.
What?
Do you have any nicknames?
Chill?
Yep.
Ken. My real name's Kenneth. People call me Ken. People call me Kade. Yeah.
Interesting. Is it important to keep a high quality social presence?
Yes and no.
Is this the best interview you've ever had so far?
Yes.
I sense a little hesitation there. Do you prefer adventure or leisure?
Oh man, I have no idea. I like both.
Both is an answer. Do you prefer Facebook or Discord?
I like both.
Who's an artist that you currently find the most exciting? The next round is on me. What are you having?
There's too many. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't drink. I don't smoke.
You can have water. You can have tea. Anywho.
Water, sober juice, always.
Nice. One time you lost $3,000 because of bad branding. Is this true?
Yes. Oh my
Shit.
gosh.
Who's an all-around
You did your
favorite?
research.
Who's your
Pardon, what
all-around
was that
favorite
question?
person?
Big Lou from Go Produce.
Well, damn. What is your favorite city? We're
My
almost
favorite
there.
city, Toronto or LA?
Dope. And can you imagine a world without music?
No.
No. Stay away from me, that world. We made it through the end.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we made it. Yes.
Those 3 seconds are long. Jeez. I'm like waiting
That's
for
jokes.
that buzzer to just hit when I stutter. I'm like, what the heck?
Come on, buzzer. That's funny. Is there anything that you want to justify from those questions?
Oh, yo, that went so quick. You're gonna have to. I don't know if you got my answers.
I
but
did
you're
get a
gonna have to
couple of
remind
them.
me. You're gonna have to remind
one I
me
do want
which
to ask
ones.
is the merch. You said Spotify or Shopify and Printful. How come 2 different online platforms?
So okay, with merch there are 2 ways that you can go about it. You can go the traditional route, the older route, where you buy a bunch of you stock up on 20,000 t-shirts, get them all printed out, and you just have them in your basement, in your attic, and then you mail them out yourself and do that. That's a lot of work. With Printful, or just this other method, direct to garment, basically. And Printful isn't the only thing, but I just I'm happy with Printful, and I think they're one of the main ones.
Yeah, I'm
But
with them too.
Direct to garment, they basically, these companies, they hold all the inventory for you. They just have a bunch of blank t-shirts, high quality t-shirts, and a bunch of different styles of t-shirts, hoodies, whatever, clothing, mugs sometimes. But you don't pay for anything until a customer buys a merch or buys something from your merch store on Shopify. When they buy something off Shopify, that sends data to this direct to garment factory, and then they print it out on the t-shirt or hoodie or whatever they ordered, and then they send it straight to the customers. So it costs a bit more, but then you're not actually spending any money until you've actually made that money. So the cost is a bit higher, say, as opposed to, you're ordering 1,000 t-shirts for maybe $5 to $10 per t-shirt. With Printful, you're spending a bit more, 15 to 17 to maybe 20, 30, but then you don't have to do any of that work. You're not spending any money on shipping, on producing this thing, on holding just 20,000 t-shirts up front. So up front you spend less money, but then if you're doing this, if you're scaling this, if you're going on tour or something, then if you're going on tour, definitely hold that inventory and just carry the shirts, carry your merch in the van.
And then one more that I want to justify here in this round, maybe I got the next one, is the Facebook and Discord. I'm not very familiar with how Discord is being used for artists promotion / building within this community. But you said you like both, and I've seen you promote Discord quite frequently. So why do you like Discord as much as you like Facebook? And why should we be using it?
So with Discord, I don't know how many people listening to this are familiar with Discord, but it's just a place where you can chat in real time with anyone. Or not anyone, but like people in a server. Like, let's say, like with a Facebook group, it's very, very similar to Facebook groups. With a Facebook group, you'll post something, and then it might be, you might get a response instantly. You might get a response in like 2 hours, and you kind of might go back and forth. Every 2 hours, someone leaves a comment or something. With Discord, there's usually someone on it, and so you can talk in real time, and just, when you're talking in real time, the conversations are a lot more organic. It's a lot more natural, and they're different from talking on Facebook where you're like commenting and stuff. So with Discord, what I find the most beneficial for Discord for artists is not for promoting yourself, but really, really creating that community within your fan base, creating, ours is called the Alex Kade family. So just, making those family ties stronger between everyone who is in our server. I'm in that server. I talk pretty frequently. My bandmate, Alex, she's in there always talking pretty frequently. And our fans get to talk to us. They get to talk to each other about things that they have interest in. And it's just a place for community building. I think that's the biggest thing about Discord.
Would you recommend an artist that doesn't have a Facebook group or a Discord to build one over the other first?
I don't even have a Facebook group. I think Facebook groups are they're dying out. Facebook groups are definitely better for businesses and like managers and just other people, or depends on your demographic. If your audience, if most of your fans are like in the generation who grew up with Facebook, then Facebook groups might be the way to go. And it's organized there. Whereas Discord it's a bit more hectic because it's just like a giant chat room. So I'd say really, really ask your fans exactly what they want, right? If you don't have any fans, then like don't worry about it. Don't worry about Discord, Facebook. Focus on building your fan base first. But once you have those fans, literally just ask them, send them a DM. Do you guys want a Facebook group or do you guys want a Discord server? And there's your answer.
Boom. Nice and easy. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And then can you tell us a little bit about this bad branding story? Just a quick, maybe like 90 seconds summary.
So this kind of goes back to the I don't want to work a 9 to 5 anymore. I want to do my own thing. But I didn't learn how to do my own thing with music yet. So I thought, I'm getting all these ads on my Facebook about Amazon, e-commerce and all that. So I'm like, okay, what if I design some clothing and try and sell it? And I had no idea. Like, this is like, I spent all this time on the product, on the setup and all that stuff. I had no idea what marketing really was. So I spent $3,000 ordering these shirts doing the Shopify stuff. I think that was the main thing because I had no idea what I was doing, but just like I spent $3,000 setting up this whole shop, and I spent $0 on marketing, and then I realized I'm like, this isn't going anywhere. Like, how do people do it? What the heck? Like, what is going on?
What am I missing?
I learned that there was much more to building a business, much more to marketing, much more to sales. There's just so much, or there's not so much, but there's just a lot of key things that you should be focusing on before spending any money on product or investing anything. There's a lot of free things that you can do that you can learn to minimize the risk of you spending $3,000 and getting zero in return.
Right. Are there like a top three things that you would do if you were to go with this pursuit again differently?
I would first off, direct to garment. That method is just so much easier. I do way more marketing.
Yeah.
I would, like, with direct to garment, I literally have to spend maybe $100 just on the setup, and that's like I'm getting a sample, and then that way, like, if anyone else orders, like, I'm not spending any money. I'm not spending like $3,000, and learning about brand building, learning about what makes someone actually want to buy something.
Right.
Similar with music, what makes someone actually want to invest into your artist brand? What makes someone want to actually listen to your music multiple times other than it just being good? What makes someone want to consume things other than your content and follow you on Instagram and Twitch and TikTok and whatever? Yeah.
That's how you make the fan. Like, you've got listeners, but then you need fans.
Spot on.
Yeah. Okay. Pow. I like that. That is the speed round. Kade, we're crushing it today. We're going now into our next segment. This next segment is called What's Your Take?
What's your take? Say what your take is. What's your take? Let me hear you say. What's your take?
Oh my
Can't
God.
hear you now. What's your take?
Hey, okay. Oh, I'm about to
These
sneeze.
intros, oh my gosh, I love it. This is different.
You enjoy those?
Yeah.
We got together as a group and we sat in the studio and we're like, so what are we gonna do with our transitions this season? And well, this is the product.
I love it. Yes.
Yeah. So back to open discussion now. We are doing great for time, and essentially for this segment, we're just looking for your wisdom. I do have a bit of a theme for this episode, so I'm just gonna share that with you. I'm hoping to garner around 3 different ways that artists can regain control over their careers even before they start.
Ooh.
Cool. So we'll keep that in mind
Okay.
as we have this conversation. I mentioned in the intro that you've done so many collaborations. There were too many that I couldn't even mention them all in the intro. But what have you learned from doing so many collaborations and from playing drums for so many different groups?
You have to be, so number one thing, you actually have to be good. You have to be good at producing or drumming or whatever. Some people think that music is all about connections. No, you actually have to be really, really good at your craft and, constantly practicing at your craft in order to get rehired. Because if you're not good, no one's going to hire you again. The industry is small. People are going to talk. They're going to tell you, hey, don't hire Kade. He's actually not that good, which has happened to me because I didn't practice too much for certain gigs. And that has never happened again. I make sure that has never happened again.
So how did you make sure that didn't happen again?
I just worked harder. I just practiced more. I was just more prepared.
Are you
a lot of people.
Yeah? Go ahead.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that, like, just putting a few more hours into preparing something for a rehearsal, something for just preparing a demo, the more you do it, the more you prepare, the better the outcome is, the higher the possibility of you getting rehired is.
I find that the more you prepare, the luckier you get.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just preparation, and just for me, it was a drummer. I was a drummer, and there's one gig I didn't have too much time to prepare for, and I didn't botch it, but I didn't play like the best that I wanted to. Never heard from them ever again. So I was like, oh, okay, next time I'm gonna allocate a bit more time. I'm maybe gonna wake up like an hour or two earlier, 2 days before, just to run over the set list a bit more. And I've brought that over to my producing, to sending demos out, to even meetings, talking or just researching on, if someone's going to be interviewing me or if I'm going to be talking to someone, what is there on the internet about them that I should already know or that I could learn about, so we don't waste time talking about that, or so I can throw that out and they'll think it's a compliment because I've done so much research on them.
Exactly. It's those little nuances that make a world of a difference. Even just that extra half an hour before your set, if you can get that through, practice what you're doing in between your songs, all of those little things like make the world of a difference, and especially if you if you want to get hired again. Okay, how would you?
That's one thing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I
got
thought
more?
we're going on with. I think there's like three. You asked me for three things.
If you got more, let's give me some more.
Okay, I'll give you the second one. The second one. I think these are the two most important things. But yeah, so preparation and also not to take anything personally. If someone doesn't want to work with you, it's not a no, never. It is a not right now. If like they don't hate you, it's just that what you're trying to do with them, what you're trying to do for them, isn't they don't need it right now, or they don't want to right now. And in the future, you can always just pitch them again, talk to them again. If you got their attention, like they already kind of fuck with you. Oh, sorry for the story. I don't know if we're allowed to.
No, you're yeah.
Kinda...
Speak freely.
But they already want to work with you, ish.
Yeah,
they're already interested.
Yeah.
Almost like Tinder, right? If you're swiping, someone else swipes right. Like it's not they already kind of like you.
Yeah.
But with this stuff, if they're responding to your emails and they're interested, and then they say no, it's a not right now. They were interested, but then maybe just didn't align with what they're trying to do. So give it a year, give it 2 years. I don't know, give it like 10 years or something. But just you have that connection now. Be super professional about it. Just be super nice. If they say no, be like, all right, that's totally fine. Good luck with everything. I'll keep you in the loop, or I'll keep in touch with you or something. Never take anything personally.
Practice and don't take things personally. It's not like we're making ourselves quite vulnerable by sharing our art and whatnot. And I understand why people can feel like they need to take things personally, but they're not judging you. If anything, they're judging the art, and the art can be a representation of you, but they're free to judge it. Don't let that affect you. Like, do not take it personally. It's going to slow down all aspects of your career.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
People are just, they're just looking out for themselves, and they probably don't have time to do whatever you're trying to do right now.
Yeah. Stay happy, stay positive. Talk to them a little bit later. Maybe the opportunity's there. Maybe it's not there for another 2 to 3 years. Who knows?
I've talked to like so many people, like they, I do consultations with artists and stuff, and they ask me, and then, I show them like a bunch of pricing and stuff, or I tell them, and then they're like, oh, not right now. I'm like, that's totally fine. My DMs are always open. You just hit me up anytime for help. And then maybe like a year or two after, they'll hit me up like, yo, Kade, can we get on a call? Like, I'm happy to pay you whatever. Right. And it's just because, I was professional. I continue to help them. It's just stay, don't take anything personally ever.
Yeah, no, I mean, right here, right now, this is how we actually met. I met you. I was very intrigued by this whole thing. And then season 5 began to kick off. I was like, yo, I can't do this right now. And now you're part of season 5, and I'm definitely going to be connecting with you afterwards to talk about
I got
you.
What
you got. Exactly. So this is very real, and it's evident. The last question I got here about this is sponsorships as a drummer. You were meeting a lot of people. You were building these relationships. Sometimes you got no. Sometimes you got yeses. One of the yeses that you were able to secure is that sponsorship. How did that look like at the beginning?
This was actually a lot simpler than people realize, but it was really just like building a connection with this guy. I have a YouTube, or I used to have a YouTube channel. It's pretty dead now. I've got like 9,000 something subscribers on there, but like no one watches it anymore, and I don't post there anymore. But I used to do a ton of drum covers, and then I was just like, as a kid, you're always just, you love gear when you're just starting off in music. Gear is always going to make you better. So I was just looking at like, oh, what cool drum places would I want to be sponsored by? And all these big companies come up, and then I found this really cool place. It was a custom drum shop just like up in Newmarket, which is just about like 30. They're local. They're very, very close by, and they're local. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I watched some of their videos, and after like a few months, I was like, I want to meet these guys. I want to buy something from them, like, because their stuff like sounds cool. So I emailed them. I'm like, yo, can I buy a snare drum? I wasn't even looking to get sponsored. I just like wanted a new snare drum, and I wanted to buy something local. So I emailed the guy, Seppo. He's the owner of this place of TRS Custom Drums. I emailed him and he's like, yeah, come up, let's hang. I was like, what? Okay, cool. So I go to this drum shop and we just ended up hanging out for an hour. I bought a snare drum off him, and then that was that. I was just playing. And I'm like, I really, really like this. And then I wanted to order after. I think it was about like a year or two after, where I wanted to order my own custom drum kit, and it's the one that I've been playing for the last. Oh my gosh, how long has it been? Last 7 years, 6 years? Jeez. Yeah, but I was like, Seppo, can I order a drum kit? And he's like, yeah, man. Do you want to work out a deal? You promote us a bit. I'll give you a discount on your stuff because he saw my YouTube channel, he saw my Instagram and all that. I'm like, okay, sure. So there was like nothing super contractual or anything. It was just a handshake, and because their product is just so good, like I'm happy. Even if he didn't give me like a discount or anything, I'm just happy to promote TRS Custom Drums because their stuff sounds wicked. It just sounds so good. Seppo, the owner, he's such a nice guy. They really, really know what they're doing. But in terms of like sponsorships, like looking at it from a bigger picture, get sponsored by things that you actually care about and that you actually like. And, if they don't sponsor you, don't run around looking for more sponsorships just for the sake of getting a sponsorship, especially as a musician, because, this industry is small. The gear people do know the industry people as well who are going to get you places. And if someone hears that you're shopping around for a sponsorship or an endorsement deal, looking for like, Fender or Jaguar, or I don't know guitars, but like looking for just like different drum companies to sponsor you, they're going to talk and be like, this guy's just looking for a sponsorship. He doesn't actually care about the products.
Right.
Whereas companies want people who actually care about the products to endorse, to show off their products. And for me, I've been playing TRS Custom Drums for 7 years now, 8 years now. Like I'm so happy with their stuff. Yeah. And I've got 2 drum kits from them. I'm just, like, even if I wasn't, I didn't have that kind of handshake deal with them, I'd still be happy to promote their stuff. I just love what they make. Right. So that's how it happened. It was super, super simple. Not some crazy, you're going to like a bigger company, you got to sign all this stuff. But I think it's really, really about just making connections and loving the products and stuff and just not expecting anything. Yeah. A lot of people, like, it depends on sponsorships too. Like there's the endorsement deals for musicians with gear where they kind of give you discounts and stuff, and they'll maybe they'll promote you or something. Not really, but you're really, really getting that discount because you're using so much gear all the time. And right now, like, I don't need any extra endorsement deals or sponsorships from my cymbals, from my maybe drumsticks. I break drumsticks pretty often, but other than that, like, I'm not playing drums as much as I used to. Right. I'm mainly producing, so I don't really need a discount or anything because I'm not buying anything. I'm not constantly using anything. So that's how you kind of should think about endorsements. Now with sponsorships, that's when like they actually give you money or they give you like free services and all of that stuff. And that's a bit of a different story that I actually don't have too much experience on for like other things. Maybe you want to find some TikTok influencers or stuff to talk about with that. But for our deal, our sponsorship deal, our endorsement deal with TRS Custom Drums, it was just like a handshake. You promote me, I promote you, I give you a discount. I'm like, all right, deal.
That's how it works. I like the unofficialness to that, though. I mean, there are a lot of artists out here that don't necessarily want to get caught up in the whole contractual thing right off the bat because they don't know how that whole world tastes. And these kinds of unofficial, like, nonchalant agreements that are just based off of loyalty and, genuine kindness to the other individual really allow the people with very little experience to start their career path. I mean, just the sheer fact that you've got a sponsorship, not you, Kade, but like an individual, if they have one sponsorship, that opens the door to the next sponsor. It's usually the first one that's the most challenging. So if you don't have to go so official to get that first one, it makes the rest easier. So thanks for sharing that story.
It's really just about relationships. I think a lot of the stuff is just a lot less complicated a lot less complicated than people think. A lot of my friends, it's all just like, oh yeah, I knew a guy, and then he just hooked me up. I was
you
like,
just
wow,
sent him an email. He said, "Come chill."
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
People are people. Humans are humans. Everyone just wants to have a good time.
Don't forget that people are just people. Okay, cool. You on your YouTube channel, you said you've created in the past at least, lots of covers. You also have done lots of remixes, and this is one of the times where you got to see a little bit more success in your career. What do you have to consider when you're doing work with other people's art? like legally and whatnot?
Legally, it's just you have to get their permission from their team. It's if okay. So with YouTube and like SoundCloud and stuff, you can put out remixes out there. These are called in the EDM world. These are called bootleg remixes. They're not official remixes. You're just taking the track, isolating the vocals through some sort of program, and then putting your own touch on it. You can put that on YouTube, but you won't make any money from it. You won't have any royalties from it. If YouTube's algorithm sees that or it hears that it is like you're using part of a track from someone else's, all the royalties will go to that artist. But
Right.
legally, if you just talk to the managers, talk to the teams, if they're willing to cut you in on some of the royalties, give you a fee or something. It's again, people are just people. You just got to talk to them, ask them what's up. But yeah, with the legal stuff, all the remixes that I've done, people are always asking me, how'd you get those on Spotify and all that? How'd you get those official remixes? How'd you get the stems? It was literally I asked them. They heard I made a bootleg remix just on TikTok, 1 minute long, sent it to them, and I'm like, do you want a full one? And they're like, yeah, sure. We're actually having a remix album. Here's the stems. it's a lot more simple.
So how did you make the bootleg remix?
I found something off TikTok. I isolated the vocals and I just put it in Logic and just like made something. It's super super simple.
Damn. Yeah. Okay.
And that's how most producers do it in the EDM world. They'll just find vocals somewhere. I think there's a video of what's his name, either David Guetta or Calvin Harris making a remix of WAP that was unofficial. They just they used YouTube. They downloaded the vocals from YouTube, isolated the vocals, and then just put their own thing on it. And I think it was David Guetta, but it's literally there. You just take the vocals off YouTube.
Well, shoot. Okay. So that's more EDM focused. That's very cool. Do you think like vocalists can do the same thing? Just email someone's team, be like, "Hey, I want to do a remix to this and that with new lyrics," and that's the same process?
I think that would be a bit more different because if you're adding new lyrics, that's kind of more on the songwriting side. If you're trying, if you don't expect anything, if you don't expect any royalties, any rights to it, then it's a lot easier. I'm sure they'll just send you. You can find just a karaoke track, if anything, if you want to do that. If you want to add new lyrics or something, and there are tons of those. On
you
YouTube.
could just
but
upload
if you
that.
actually want, exactly, you can just upload that. You won't get any royalties from it or whatever, but it'll be there for you to share with your friends, with your fans and stuff. But if you actually want to do something official, that's when you gotta talk to the managers. Just talking to the managers, talking to the artists, if they're willing to let you remix it or feature on it or something,
right?
Officially, yeah, because you're not the only one in the spotlight now. Now they're in the spotlight, and then you're using their name to kind of push out your song a bit more.
Right.
So that's when things get a bit more complicated, and you have to do a bit of negotiation. You got to see if they even want this or not. But if you're doing something unofficially and you're just putting it on YouTube, SoundCloud, TikTok, whatever, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay, so I was talking to one of my friends, and he's like, in order for me to have uploaded this onto Instagram and TikTok, I had to change one of the tones by like 3 dB or something to like make it not official. Is that because had he not done that, they would have been collecting royalties, or they would have been received a notification? He would have to take that down.
Every situation is different.
Yeah.
But with social media algorithms in terms of like copyright. So this is like a problem of copyright. All this music, like I think they have it in like a database, like Sony, Warner, Atlantic, whatever, all these labels, and it's up there. Even if you upload through DistroKid, your song is like kind of in the database of this huge cloud. And then all these social media platforms, they're always listening to this music. They're seeing, this song take any part of this other song. There's this sound that your friend made, let's say for example, take any part of this other song. So I remember I was doing this back when I was making YouTube drum covers. Some songs would just get fully blocked, like a Taylor Swift song. I think it was Blank Space or Shake It Up or something. If I tried to upload the original version of that, just like normal whatever with my drums, it would just get blocked. So I had to tone it down, right? I had to change the pitch of it, like for it to either sound like a chipmunk or sound like a 12 semitones down, where he sounded like a big buff big guy. I don't know, but you just had to change it so the algorithms don't catch it. So I think that's exactly what your friend was doing.
Right.
You still cannot get any royalties from that
Right.
unless yeah, because you're using someone else's work.
Yeah.
But that's how you kind of get past the algorithms in order to show off your work.
Interesting. Someone got to be writing notes. Damn. Okay. In the speed round, we talked about how you had an experience where you lost $3,000, but that's in the past. Now we're in the business of making some money. You recently made over 10K on a single that you released in July called I Light. And this is about a 3-month period, which is preposterous. It's profound. It's wild. We need to hear a little bit more about this. So I'm curious to know, what steps did you take before you even launched this song? Because there's definitely a release plan to this.
Yes. It was a lot. I don't know if I can sum it up like super, super detailed, but it was just a matter of looking at this song. So, okay, first of all, I did this because I needed money ASAP. If I put it on Spotify, the royalties would come in so slowly. The amount of money I would invest into marketing, I wouldn't get that back for a long time. I needed money ASAP. I needed money in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, all right, let's just try this out instead. I asked a bunch of friends, a bunch of my mentors, a bunch of my close circle who I just consult everything in. Like we just talk. You know, I'm sure you have friends where you just bounce ideas off each other. But I was just bouncing ideas off my homies, and they're like, "Do it. You're the only guy I know who could probably pull this off." I'm like, "All right, let's do it. I don't care." The worst thing that will happen is I will have to go find a real job, and I'm like, "Screw that. No, let's make this happen." But in terms of that, now it's just seeing my song. I have a song now. How can I sell it as a product, as opposed to, you know, a lot of artists, they just run Facebook ads to their Spotify page to tone down. I don't know. That's one of the main ways to market a song now. But I was like, what if I market the song like an actual product? Like if I was selling a shirt, if I was selling, I don't know, a new toilet seat or something. Just one of those products that you see all over your Facebook ads. What if I was selling it like that? And it was just a process of like looking at all these different sales pages, looking at all of these different methods on how people sell things like this, consulting my friends who have already done this, or in terms of like they've sold their own thing. It wasn't music, but they've sold their own thing. But just breaking it down and kind of working backwards and just relating it. Okay, this part is this part in my process. This part in their process is this part in my process, and just connecting the dots. That is it in a summary. In terms of like a bit more detailed, I knew, because I already had like fans and followers, like what were we at, like 2,000 something, I don't know, but because I'm always constantly talking to my fans, to my followers, I already have an idea of what they want, what more they want of me, and it was just a matter of, you know, putting that all in a few packages and putting a price tag on it and doing a bit of marketing, really making sure like, okay, telling them this is exactly what you asked from us, and now we're giving it to you. Do you want to give us money for it? And it was just a matter of them saying, yes, here's my credit card, or no, you know, maybe later.
Yeah. And that just means maybe later, not right now.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. And so I'm curious on a couple of different things. I know if any of our listeners want specific details, Kade does do consultations. So like, this is information that he like works with you in detail. So please check him out for all of the nitty gritty details that you've got. He can't give us all of his secrets here, but
what secrets do you know? I'll give a few out.
Well,
they're actually not secrets. Everything that I do is like you can find on Google. It's all free.
Well, so
it's just I've just connected the dots a bit better.
Yeah. So I was doing some.
But thank you for the plug. Thank you for the
plug. You're welcome. I was doing some research and like I kind of put some things together, and what I think you're kind of the direction you're going towards, maybe I'm wrong, is you release the product ahead of time to a specific set of people. You make it available to them almost like a movie release, like a cinema. Like you have to go to the movie theater to watch it and you spend your money there. But then afterwards, Netflix gets it or the TV system gets it. And so like it becomes accessible to the rest of the world. I'm not certain if that's the approach you're going with it, to like create demand and exclusivity for your people now, and then also sharing it with the whole world. I'm not sure if that's something that you want to share, but this is the direction I was leaning towards.
Yeah, no, I'll share that. It's very, very similar. So yeah, this song, we're only letting 5,000 something only up to 5,000 people listen to it this year, or 5,000 people have copies of it this year. If you pirate it, if you share it, I have no control of that, but we're only having like 5,000 official people listen to this track this year. And then next year, I said I was going to release it on Spotify and stuff, but I don't even know if I want to do that anymore because it just makes it so much more exclusive.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like the only place that the only people who got to listen to the song, like these people are super, super special. So like imagine, Marvel releases a film, releases like the fourth Avenger film, but they're saying only 10,000 people get to watch this. Imagine how high they can charge those tickets for versus this is out everywhere in movie theaters, and if you wait a bit, you can pirate this off the internet. You can watch this on Netflix where you're paying like $8 a month, $10 a month. I don't know how much Netflix costs. But just creating that demand is exactly what you said. It's very, very similar to what I'm doing, creating that demand, marketing it. But again, it is a good song. People really, really like it. It's only $1. They get a ton of stuff other than the $1. So, or other than just like one song, they're getting a whole giant package. And so, I'm kind of making this more for my fans, making this for myself, and just experimenting and seeing what else we can do in this music industry.
I think it's been a grand experiment. Like I'm prepared to follow the model verbatim afterwards. Obviously, like everyone's situation is different, so I won't do exactly what you did. But I definitely will be talking to you about that. And I'm curious to know, after having had this experience, what kinds of adjustments are you going to make for your future music? Do you think you're ever going to be like releasing traditionally anymore?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I think I've got a song coming out in November. I'm putting it on Spotify and just kind of doing the traditional route again, because the thing that I did, it's so nuanced that I don't know who I could possibly pay to help me do it, because there's just so many things that I had to do myself. And for me to, kind of sit down and figure out that process on how to delegate it and find the people who could actually execute on what I did up to the standards, or even just like 70 to 80% of what I was doing. It'd be hard to do that. And I don't have the resources to, do that right now. So I do have a song coming out on Spotify next month. I think. I don't remember. Maybe. I'm still deciding on whether or not if I want to release it. That's how I release my songs. It's just like if I want to do it, because I know how to market my own songs. So I'm like, I'll just throw this out and I'll just do my thing, because marketing comes pretty natural to me now.
That's awesome.
Awesome. In terms of what I would do differently, I think the most important part was learning how to delegate all these different tasks. So exactly what I told you that I wouldn't do is something that if I were to do this again, I have to, in order to not have myself go crazy, in order to scale it. I only have 24 hours in a day. I need to get 8 hours of sleep a day in order if I don't want to get sick. And, I need to eat. I need off time. I can't just hustle 24/7. And like I've tried to do that, and I totaled my car when I tried to do that when I was 21.
Oh,
I nearly
shit.
died. Yeah, I nearly died trying to just hustle hard.
Yeah.
So now that I've had that experience, I'm like, okay, no, this isn't sustainable. Whenever I burn out, I kind of take a step back. I'm like, okay, what made me burn out? All right, let's adjust immediately so this never happens again. And I always end up burning out, but it's always like each time is significantly less. And I'm sure, maybe in 10 years, I'll learn exactly how to not burn out and just, find something that's super, super sustainable.
Yeah.
But delegating tasks to other people, paying other people for their time, for their work, so you can focus on other things. I think that's the that's the thing that I would definitely do for next time.
It'll make everything go smoother. Back to the 21-year-old thing. I mean, I'm very happy that you made it through, but it's very real. And I just bring this up again because at 21, you think that you're super young, you're invincible, but you're not. I mean, it can happen to anyone, and that's why I just wanted to share some light. Take care of your health at every point of your career. I mean, it's critical. Without it, everything else slips away. Fast.
You are nothing without your physical or mental health.
Yep.
So yes, Lou.
Okay. All right. Our final segment. This one is called Clear the Air.
Like, stop recording. Cut.
Okay. Kate, clear the air. We've got a fan. We call them our SmArtists. And we've got the grumpy sound guy who sent in a question. He's not here, so I'll have to read it for him. But yeah, let me share with you the fan question, okay?
Hi, Kade. My name is Cooper. What are some ways that upcoming artists can invest in themselves if they're on a low budget?
Did you get that?
Yep. So Cooper, things that upcoming artists can do to invest in themselves on a low budget is education. There is so much education out there that is completely free. YouTube, Google, articles, my DMs. I always answer my DMs if you need help. And then there's a ton of people who are willing to help. YouTube videos is education. So many people want to, just skip educating themselves and just get right into it. But you have no money to scale. You got that money. The most important thing you can do with that money is invest it into advertising or marketing. That's what I would say. With everything else, just educating yourself. That stuff is completely free. Practicing, executing, getting better at your skills, practicing your content creation, practicing your marketing skills, all of the stuff. Like if you have to spend that money on bills and groceries, you can market a song really, really well with $0. There's so many tools out there that can teach you that can help you market that song with $0. TikTok, you don't have to spend a single dollar on TikTok. You just got to get really, really good at content creation. And how you can do that is just by watching a ton of TikToks and just making a ton of TikToks and seeing which ones do well. The ones that do well, copy the ones that you're doing well. Think about why they did well, how you made them, and then just do more of that. All this stuff is upping your skills, getting better at marketing, getting better at sales, getting better at content creation, getting better at producing, getting better at stuff that can generate you income, so you can kind of increase your budget because now you're actually making money. Someone hires you to mix a song, someone hires you to teach them how to produce. Maybe that's an extra like $40, an extra $100, extra $400 that you can invest back into your marketing or into, now you have a larger budget. Does that make sense? You see where I'm going with this?
Absolutely. It's a compounding effect.
Education is the way to go. And there's just so much free stuff out there. You just gotta look for it. Gotta spend some time looking for it.
Yeah. It's a great approach. I mean, spend some time, be consistent, be patient, and it grows. It grows. It's like a snowball. It gets easier as you go. Okay. Question.
And one extra thing. Sorry, one more thing. If you know how to do these things, you will never be taken advantage of by someone else. There are so many crooks in this music industry that are just looking to make a quick buck. If you know how to do these things for yourself, you will never be taken advantage of. You can spot these guys immediately. You can save your money, save yourself a lot of headache, a lot of time, a lot of regret, just by educating yourself.
It's so true. It down the road it's worth it. Even now it's worth it. So just take the time.
Exactly.
Question from the grumpy sound guy. He's got almost like a two-part question because we were talking about the exclusive release that you've done. Is this the best solution that you've come up with to get around Spotify royalties? Is that why you did this whole thing?
I wasn't trying to get around. Well, okay, yes and no. Oh man, that's a question. Spotify royalties are great if you've got a big enough following where you can kind of just like make an extra $20 to $50 every day. But that means you need at least, I think, like 100,000 something. You need a lot of streams every day. Like it's in the 6 figures, 7 figures every single day worth of streaming.
So it's not sustainable unless you're massive.
Exactly. If I was a big enough artist, I could just throw out a song and then have the algorithms just like do that for me. Like I wouldn't do this ever again because there's other things that I could be spending my time on. But because I needed money up front, and it was mainly I needed money up front in order to invest back into my business. That's exactly why I did this. But I learned a lot. It brought a lot of value to my fans. It brought a lot of value to my producer and artist community. Like I can show people how to do this now. So
that's huge.
Yes, I would do this again differently. I definitely have to kind of circle back and see what shouldn't I have done? What should I have done better? What could I have done better? And also, if I get big enough, no, I don't want to do this ever again. Or it's different. It's just
if you don't have to.
It was just the experience. Like I just spent so much effort on this, and I kind of went crazy. I worked like there were 3 weeks where I worked just 20 days in a row, minimum 8-hour days, and like it was tough. It was tough. I don't think very many people can do that without going crazy or wanting to, unalive themselves. But it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's
Yeah,
a lot of work.
I hear that.
But if you have the budget, if you have the friends, if you have the team to help you do it, go for it. That's how people used to do it back in the 60s and the 50s, right?
Makes
You
sense.
just gotta readjust these days. There's so many more tools where you can do it for super easy now. But you just kind of, readjust your strategy and see what works best for you.
Yeah, readjust. It's okay. And then, sorry, the final question from the Grumpy Sound guy. He is a bit of a TikTok fan, but he's not popping like you are. He wants to know, do you have any specific tips that you were able to use? I know you said post, study, and then see what works and switch. But maybe just share what worked for you.
So TikTok really is a skill. Social media, content creation. Getting good at content creation and making videos that just people want to keep watching. That is a skill that you have to practice. It will not come immediately. I can tell you exactly what I do, but in order for you to replicate the results for yourself, you have to practice it. I can tell you right now off TikTok, you want to be able to capture their attention instantly and keep them watching. You got to have something new every single second. Not every single second, but just like new, something to keep their attention there. You want to know not exactly who your audience is, but exactly why you're making this content.
Yeah.
Exactly. What's the meaning of this content? And it's super, super important. You got to have fun doing it. The most important part is like, if you make a video and you get like 1 view on it, are you still happy with that video? If you're not happy with that video, then you should be doing something that's more fun in terms of like content creation. If you enjoy it, because I made a ton of videos. I've made so many videos, and when I was just going for the views and stuff, I was so sad. Or I wasn't sad, but I was just like, this sucks, because I was just going for the views, and whenever I didn't get any views, it was just like, well, it sucked, because that was my only goal. Now for me, my TikTok strategy is just make really, really good music that I am proud of, practice your production skills, and then kind of adjust it in a way where, my community might vibe with it, the TikTok might vibe with it. And, even if I don't get any views, I had a lot of fun doing it. I learned a few things. I, practiced a bit of my production and practiced a bit of my content creation skills, got to experiment. So biggest thing with TikTok is you have to have fun with it. Learn how to make it fun for yourself. And then it will be a lot easier for you to up your skills, get better at TikTok, and continue creating all these amazing videos for you to, hit 5 million trillion followers.
Wow. We out here. Grumpy Sound guy, you have to have some fun with it, okay? Try not be... maybe find your grumpy followers. I don't know. Just have some fun with it. All right, cool. Pop. That's awesome. We have made it to the very end of Clear the Aircade. I'm going to ask you next. Do you have any final words?
Listen to Go Produce every episode. There are so many gems in Go Produce, because Lou is just such an amazing guy. The people at Go Produce, such a great team.
Hey.
Also, my DMs are always open. If you ever need any help, my DMs are always open. You listen to something from Go Produce, you want a second opinion on it, feel free to hit me up at Music by Kade on Instagram. I just like helping. You know what I mean? I'm all about saving money so you can invest it into your marketing. So like any way that I can help, I will try my best. I give out too much free advice. So yeah, just like hit me up in the DMs. I just like meeting people.
Yeah.
Oh, the biggest thing that I've learned last year, some guy called Cody Rain literally just hit me up on TikTok. It's like, yo, wanna get on a call? I'm like, and he told me all the things he's done. I'm like, yeah, sure. This weird random guy. This guy dropped so many gems on me. This guy was so smart. He's like making 6 figures and like, oh my gosh, this guy was. I'm like, why is this guy talking to me and just giving me all this free advice? What he said at the end was, success comes from helping others find success. So I want everyone who's listening to that, whoever heard that, take that to heart. If you are helping others find success, you will find success for yourself.
It's inevitable. I like that. Let's end on that note. Wow. We've got a couple of different resources and links that I'll be sharing in the show notes. You just gave us a couple as well. So that's perfect. Other than that, I just want to say thank you so much, Kade, for being here. We very much do appreciate you and your time and your knowledge, your energy. All of that is fantastic. Listeners, SmArtist, if you want to connect with me or other like-minded individuals, check us out on our Facebook group. We don't have a Discord yet, but if you want one, let me know. We'll be talking about that a little bit more. My name is Big Lou. This is Go Produce. We out.